Vai'cairn decided that walking along the coast seemed too dangerous an idea. Also, if he could navigate the jungle well enough, he would make it back to his village quicker than walking the zigzagging coastline, which wound many off miles. The jungle was alive around him. Sounds of insects, birds, and monkeys filled the humid air. Somewhere in the distance, the growl of some large predator reminded him that danger could be behind every next tree. He gripped his long spear, and he set off. Vai'cairn makes a nature check to navigate through the jungles here. He gets a +2 bonus because he's kind of familiar with this area. His nature check is a 23, which is pretty good. Vai'cairn traveled for half the day or so, safe so far. He stopped to drink from a flowing stream and refilled his water skin. He knew he'd be hungry soon, and he'd eaten the last of the food that he'd brought with him. But for now, he pressed on. He makes his next nature check to continue traveling through the jungle and find his way. His second nature check is a 10, which is not quite as good. By this point, the sunlight was starting to fade, deepening the shadows of the jungle. Vai'cairn was not completely certain where he was. He actually got the sense that he was starting to get lost. As he began to look for a place to maybe set up a little camp to sleep for the night, he found himself at the edge of a 10-foot drop-off, and below lied a small, ruined stone structure. The building was overgrown with moss and vines, and its roof was completely gone. The walls stood in places and were crumbled in others. Steps led up to the platform that served as the floor, and he could see the shape of a stone head statue inside. As well, he noticed a number of tusk-like horns jutting up from the ground, similar to the ones in the Hyrosian ruin and other areas of the island. As Vai'cairn descended the steep slope to the lower ground, he discovered he was not alone. Vai'cairn makes a perception check to notice nearby danger. He's getting -2 because what is hiding from him is more than 10 squares away. His perception check turns out to be a 10. That's a failure, so he's actually not aware of anything. And he approaches these horns here at the front to get maybe a better look at them. And as he does so, a large, ferocious lizard emerges from the heavy undergrowth and gives out a stark warning in the form of a reptilian hiss. And this would be initiative, because this thing does not look too friendly. Vai'cairn rolls a 24 for initiative, and the lizard gets a 15. So Vai'cairn goes first. The first thing he does is he draws his chakram, and he attacks. He gets a 26 minus 2 for concealment equals 24. That's a hit. He deals 9 damage. The chakram just kind of lightly cuts this thing, and then lands in the plant undergrowth. And then Vai'cairn moves up the stairs to take cover behind that ruined wall. Okay, now the lizard, it's actually a type of monitor lizard. It double moves. It has to move twice just to get to Vai'cairn, so it spends its whole turn moving. Vai'cairn attacks with recuperating strike. He rolls a 13. That's a miss, and then he's going to shift 1 square. The monitor lizard opens its powerful jaws and bites. It rolls a 17. That's a hit. It deals 7 damage. Vai'cairn goes down to 22 hit points, and he is grabbed. And as he had heard at some point before from his tribe about these large lizards, when they bite you, their jaws had the ability to kind of tear into your flesh as they grabbed you. So he's actually taking ongoing damage as he is grabbed here. So it is now Vai'cairn's turn, and he takes ongoing 5 damage, going down to 17 hit points. He attacks with Pressing Strike, just trying to thrust his spear tip and stab the lizard and push it back. He rolls an 11. That's a miss. So he's going to go ahead and make an athletics check now as his move action to try to escape this grab. He rolls a 25 athletics. That is a success, which allows him to shift 1. The lizard goes to bite. Actually, for a few rounds here, what's going on is the monitor lizard will kind of slink up to Vai'cairn, snap at him. He'll block it or dodge, and then he sort of retaliates with a recuperating strike from his long spear, and he can't quite hit. This thing's evading his attack. So they're just kind of like staring each other down, trading short blows that the other one evades for just a minute here. Then what Vai'cairn does is he attacks with his Pressing Strike, and that actually allows him to quickly maneuver. He gets to shift 2 squares before he makes this attack. So he shifts and attacks for 21. That's a hit. He deals 10 damage, and since he's away from this thing, he actually is going to move back behind that stone head statue to try to get some cover. But as he moves back there, he sees that there are these 2 pretty good-sized spiders. They're brown tarantulas, as he knows them. They're about a foot and a half across, so they're pretty big, and they're just clinging to some light webbing on the back of this statue. So he decides going behind it maybe is not the best idea, and he just continues on. The spiders actually get to take their turn now. The first one, it moves up to Vai'cairn. It actually has to get onto his square since it's so small. It can't even have a 1 square reach. So it will provoke an opportunity attack as it tries to crawl up next to Vai'cairn. His opportunity attack is a 19. He skewers the spider on his spear. He kills it. The other one, actually what it does is it just kind of spins 2 move actions and shifts up onto Vai'cairn's square. So it doesn't attack, but it doesn't provoke an attack itself. The monitor lizard then opens its jaws wide and ferociously charges Vai'cairn. And this triggers his threatening point feat. So he makes an opportunity attack whenever something charges upon his spear tip. He makes an opportunity attack of 25. That is a hit. He deals 8 damage, stabs the monitor lizard. It is bloodied. The lizard, as well, rolls a 25, which hits Vai'cairn and deals, as well, 8 damage to Vai'cairn. So Vai'cairn is now dropping down to 9 hit points. He is bloodied, and he, again, is taking ongoing damage. So both of the combatants have bloodied each other, and the monitor lizard is grabbing Vai'cairn in its jaws, just really clamping down and tearing into that maybe his leg, I would say. Vai'cairn starts his turn. He takes ongoing 5 damage and drops down to 4 hit points. He is in a lot of pain. He's losing blood, and he realizes that he is in a bad situation and he needs to do something quick.